we have a 20-degree day today. We had a 20-degree day yesterday, and the rest of the week is supposed to be just as warm. Next week, it's going back to seasonal average temperatures for this time of year, but this week is gorgeous. And so we're really trying to take advantage of the weather while we've got it. Everything is melting. The river has gone up 2 feet and likely will go up quite a bit more. We're still waiting for the blowtorch so that we can finish off the dock and do the burning of the boards. So in the meantime, Al is going to fix our tractor tire, and I'm going to start taking up the nails with the magnet around the foundation hole, and I'm also going to start to clean up those tiles so that when we do go to drive the tractor over there to move that stone, we'll have a clear and safe path. So yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous, and we're so pumped to be outside again.
Yeah, the beaver's back scratching around in here. That's what's going on. That's what happened last year.
Look at that.
That's crazy. That's a lot of geese. It's all the geese. All of the geese in Canada. Hey folks, just kind of rounding third, heading for home on the dock. So we got all the floorboard pieces cut except for a couple that are a little longer. I'm gonna wait until I have that installed, and then I'm gonna snap a chalk line and just rip all the way along with my handsaw, like a hand circular saw. That will clean up the edges. And we realized, as it's just the two of us, to try and lift all of this, the barrels, the frame, and the floor, is going to be an exercise in pain and suffering. So we're going to take the decking off, which we haven't attached. Clearly it's just lying on top. I'm going to store that up against the trees. Then we are going to, well, Kim is going to use our new fancy torch. It's hooked up to the propane tank to burn the frame. That will preserve the wood. And then what we'll do on the ground is lay out these boards and burn them as well before installing them, and then we can burn the top once it's installed and the edges after I've cut it. So the only other thing to consider is strapping the barrels underneath. I've got some old come-along straps, and really that's all I'm going to do is affix them from the inside, come underneath each barrel and back up to the joist. So from one joist underneath to the other joist beside it, 2 straps per barrel, and that really is just to keep them from possibly rolling out from underneath. I don't expect much turbulence on the river, like even today, and it's pretty crazy, like with this weather that we've had. It's been 20 degrees, 24 degrees yesterday, I think it'll probably get up to around 17 to 20 degrees today. They're expecting that tomorrow as well. It's not even mid-April, which is very, very, very strange for this part of the country. I think the seasonal average high is supposed to be floating around 8 degrees. So this is a full 16 degrees warmer than it should be. That's caused some excessive melt, and I don't know if you can tell on the camera, as I'm watching right now, another tree is floating down the stream. We've been watching these for days, just great big pine trees and even log jams that you can tell had kind of got all tangled up further upstream and then lifted up by the rising waters and carried down. We literally watched a flotilla the other day. I thought maybe I could paddle out to it and sit on it and ride it down the river. We're only about a foot away from breaching the bank, and I don't know how much more water we'll get, but it'll be neat to see. This will be probably one of the years where it's a little higher than normal flooding, but anyways, it still has to rise 15 feet or more before it gets anywhere near our actual building site, so it's not really a concern from that perspective. It's just interesting to see. I digress. So again, the idea is we'll leave the decking off, we'll strap the barrels in, we're going to carry that into the water and anchor it, and then put the decking on. And so far I've been thinking of reading through a couple of different ways to secure it. Because I want the dock to be able to rise and fall, I'm thinking maybe the best bet is to use some heavy steel pipe, and then what I'll do is similar to driving down a point well, I'll put a cap on top, drive it down into the mud, even below the water line, screw on another piece of pipe, put the cap back on top, pile drive it down some more, so that pipe is a good maybe 6 feet into the mud and 8 feet out. And then the idea will be have a couple of those and then anchor the dock to those, right? Just using either U-bolts or something similar, so that as the water rises, the dock just slides up those two piers or posts. And then again, like we mentioned before, we'll have that levered or hinged gangway, so that will rise with the dock depending on the water level, so that it's always attached from the shore to the dock. And that's where we're at right now.
You got to seal the barrels too.
Oh yeah, and the other thing that Kim just mentioned is we left the barrels with the openings up, so just small things. But anybody that's doing this, if you end up in a situation like us where you're waiting until spring or whatever, flip your barrels upside down so that water doesn't leach its way in. Because what we need to do is unscrew those caps. They have their own little rubber washer, but everything that I've read, the idea is put a little silicone above and below that washer and then screw everything back in, because you want these things nice and tight. They can't be letting water in, obviously, because then you have ballast and it's just going to sink the dock. So seal these up. They smell amazing. They're full of like this, they were rinsed out, but there's still like residual smell from it's like this stuff for scented candles and that. So a couple of the barrels smell like amazing oatmeal cookies, and the other ones I can't really place the smell. It's nice too, it's just not oatmeal cookies. So that's where we're at. When I was doing this with that blowtorch, it was not burning it this quickly at all, and I think it's because the flame is shooting to either side.
It's also windy. And
you're just you're just losing a lot of gas for nothing.
the snow melted, we realized that we had a little tree that we planted here beside the stone. So we've got to move our pile over here.
Feel it in my bones, I can feel it in my veins. Hands in the sky, I can feel the winds of change. You live and you learn, and I hope I've seen enough to make something right and make up for what I've lost. I was down, but things are looking up. I wanna get high on you, caught by surprise by you. Want you to make my heart feel as much as I know it should. I wanna get high on you, caught by surprise by you. Want you to make